Hey everybody, Ultimate Oddball here. Today I'm going to talk about the generally mysterious behavior known as echolalia. Echolalia is the act of repeating back sounds or words that others say. Many parents of verbal autistic children have had experience with their child responding using echolalia. It's incredibly important to understand that even though it may seem like this behavior is bereft of meaning, it can actually serve a variety of purposes. Many speaking autistic people, myself included, prefer to script communication in a more exact manner than non-autistic people. It can be difficult for me to come up with something to say all the time, so I have a lot of phrases that I recycle so I don't have to spend time figuring out how to word responses in the way that I like. This is especially true if I know I'll be talking to someone about an important subject or if the conversation will be heated or stressful. Ever since I was little, I would rehearse conversation in my head for hours. It's easier for me to function if I get all my conversational eggs in a row ahead of time, rather than trying to pay attention to others and deal with sensory overload and carry on in a totally spontaneous conversation. If I didn't utilize this coping technique, it's likely that I would respond more with silence. I've studied social interaction extensively, so I know repeating back what someone just said is considered improper because it's seen as lacking meaning or message. In many cases, this is absolutely untrue. The meaning behind it may be hard to determine, but that doesn't mean that it's not there. Autistic people experience a variety of difficulties associated with their autism, including difficulty in modulating tone for speaking autistic people. As with most things, practice over time can improve this ability, at least when the person is consciously choosing to modulate their voice like non-autistic people. I found that watching a lot of television and mimicking actors helped me quite a bit in learning how to vary my voice effectively. I'm not perfect at it by any means, nor do I always force myself to sound like a non-autistic person, but it's there as a tool for when I need it. So, echolalia can be a way to practice sounding like others. It can also be a coping mechanism to help the person think. Maybe instead of shifting brain power from thinking about what you said to responding right away, people who display echolalia are responding with mimicry to give themselves more time to think. The passing of time for autistic people seems to sometimes drag on to an extent that most non-autistic people don't experience. Or maybe it's just that when you have a lot of sensory overload, anxiety, frustration, and other difficulties, time feels as if it drags on. A child displaying echolalia may be trying to buy time to think by repeating back what you've just said. In situations interacting with others, especially when there's conflict, it can be incredibly hard to deal with everything going on. Thus, the more stressful things are, the more potential for seeing coping mechanisms from autistic individuals. It's important for parents of autistic kids to remember that if your child doesn't speak and doesn't interact with you, it's probably not because they don't want to, unless you're stressful to interact with, that is. Echolalia is often viewed as pointless repetition, but that point of view completely ignores the fact that it is often an attempt to communicate. Repetition of scripts is especially useful for autistic people in order to avoid getting overwhelmed by having to be 100% spontaneous. If you're the parent of an autistic person, or someone who studies autism, please approach the subject with humility. Please keep in mind that you should not be disregarding behavior that you don't understand the root of. It may be more important than you know. Well, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for coming by. Have a good day. Hey everybody, Ultimate Oddball here. If you want to stay up to date with my videos, click subscribe. I release a new video on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I do gaming commentary and review. I talk about my experiences on the autism spectrum, and I share my opinions and thoughts on a variety of matters. My hope is that, through my videos, I can help to dispel some of the misinformation, confusion, and negativity people have regarding autism. Thank you for helping me do that by watching these videos.